Jordan. Open. Chicago with the lead.
Court. Batista with the catch.
Oh! LeBron James with no regard for human life.
Hand down, man down.
Yeah, I can see how disrespectful he's being right there.
No, I went to Temecula and brought you some dirt.
Yeah, that's a technical.
Mama, there goes that man.
Welcome back to The Bounce. James Schmeitz with me, Kev Nevick. I'm happy to be back. It was a long week away from you, all of you.
I was going to say, man, welcome back. Like, first off, glad to have you back. I'm glad that you got to take care of some business. Glad that all got taken care of. Two, don't ever leave me in charge again. Like, let's not do this again. Like, I ain't built for that. The chair's meant for you. The throne, this is Kev's throne. You live on that throne. That's for you, bud, not me.
Hey, well, don't sell yourself short. I mean, you've got enough captaining to do, though, in our upcoming Dweeb Star Wars series.
Yeah.
Now, I say that's a Star Wars series on our channel, Dweeb.
A lot of nerds coming out, as you see.
Yeah, piloted by Dweebs, brought to you and powered by
Darth Vrabel back there. Don't worry about him.
Bite Size Sports. Yes, we got Darth Vrabel in the house, as well as a myriad of different athletes here, and Leo the Tiger right here behind me.
Oh, He's hiding back there.
Oh yeah. I would tell you what his shirt says, but we're not outside of 3 minutes, so YouTube frowns upon such language. But don't worry. We've got a great show lined up for you. Sorry, I saw a comment in there. I was like, wait, what is that? But welcome back to me and to all of you. We've got a great show lined up for you. International Men of Mystery and Basketball. We're going to be talking about FIBA. We're going to be talking about the Hall of Fame class of 2023, which has a little international flavor itself. I do believe. Yeah.
Quite a bit.
And a couple of guys got some big money. So we'll talk about the big extensions and whether or not they were the right move for two coastal elites.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll also talk about slam ball and the legacy leagues, two of my favorite non-NBA basketball leagues. So there we go. There's your run of show. Now it's time for me to ask something of all of you out there. Let's get a like and a subscribe if you could. Now, I don't have the graph in front of me, but if I did, I'd pull it up right now. There is a shameful amount of you that view and do not subscribe, and that's okay. We're going to give you a pass. We love you, but now's your chance to make it right. Okay, we got daily shows coming up, daily live shows coming up on this network. Football, basketball, fantasy football. We got team-specific podcasts coming, so you don't want to miss
with
that.
NFL season coming up, man. It's about to get very real. Like, they're kicking in. We've got the team-specific stuff coming along, which we're very excited about. I think all our NFL shows were back going this week. I think Trev and Dan were on Wednesday. I think Trev's on again Friday for sure. I was supposed to join him, and I double booked myself at an Eric Church concert on Trev's show, and sadly Trevor lost the battle hard there. But it's about to get real. We took our little July hiatus, and we are back full go now.
Absolutely, and let us know with a comment below if you got any questions for us. We would love to answer them. You got your thoughts, we want to hear them. So this is a very interactive stream. If you're with us for the first time, and I know some of you are, because James, I have cheated the system a little bit. Trevor gave me an idea.
Can't trust Trev. Can't trust him.
I think he might have been onto something with this one, though, because through no fault of our wonderful partners at StreamYard, which if you want to make breathtaking streams like this, go ahead and click on that link in the description. That'll refer you to our dear friends at StreamYard. But through no fault of their own, for some reason, while I needed to go take care of some business, we lost access to the Bite Size Sports Facebook page. So Trevor, while he was live streamed to his own Facebook page, and he got a bunch of new viewers. So I tried that today. We are streaming Bite Size Sports on YouTube, Bite Size Sports on Facebook, and
I
on
didn't know we lost
my
it. That's news to me.
Facebook. So it's back now. We got it back.
The
I
Wild
don't-
Wild West out there.
Yeah, it's wild, but hey, so we've got some new viewers today. I thank you, those of you who are coming in to hang out from my Facebook page. You're new here. That's why I'm doing all this extra explaining in the beginning. But now we're here. We're 5 minutes in. Let's get fired up. James, where would you like to start, sir?
Ooh, let's.
Decisions.
I think let's start. Let's go small right out the gate. Let's talk extensions. Let's talk.
Okay.
The 2 extensions that happened this week that we need to talk to. Let's talk about the first one first. LA re-signs Anthony Davis. Then extension, right? AD extension. 3-year, $186 million. It's technically the largest on a per year basis. It's going to get the new CBA. This is getting really goofy because every extension that's signed is essentially going to be he now passes Jaylen Brown on the per year deal. Like, it's just the way the CBA is set up. So every single year it's going to get changed. But what do you think, Kev? Like, $186 million, 3 years, kicks in next year. I'm talking about a guy that was great in the playoffs, but man, the regular season was quite something.
And there's the longevity, right? We're looking at the full scope of his career. So that's 3 years on top of this year, right? So he's now under contract for the next 4 seasons.
Correct. How old is he? I'm trying to find that real quick.
While you find that, I'm thinking about the state of the franchise right now. We've probably got a couple of years of LeBron still as an above average. I think we've already started to see the decline. You know, he's still
30,
great.
He's 30.
Okay, so
31 till March. So he turns 31 in March.
Yeah, but he's a 30 that feels 35, right? With all those joint injuries.
Gosh.
It's not just the injuries, right? It's the type of injury and the way that they can be nagging and recurring.
Wow, here's his last 5 years, Kev. 56 games, 40 games, 36 games, 62, 56. Hasn't played 70-plus games since he played for the Pelicans. This is not including playoffs. Let me get that out the way.
Did I even hear 1 over 60 in that 5 year?
He's played
1?
He played 62 games in his first season with the Lakers. That's it.
Yeah. Therein lies the problem.
That's kind of
to play Lakers advocate. What I don't love this, but I also don't know that the Lakers could have done anything else, right?
I think
don't let him walk, right? You can't let him walk. You didn't sign him for a max, at least you didn't sign him for 5 years. I don't think your window is that long. And I don't think, if I'm being honest with myself, I don't think the Lakers front office believes Anthony Davis is going to be on this roster all 4 of these years. I think they want to make sure he's on the roster for the next 2, maybe 3 years. And once LeBron goes, there's a good chance this whole thing gets blown up and they try to recuperate all of the assets that they've lost as far as future draft capital. I mean, they have young players, but they don't have any young stars. They have,
Austin Reeves. Come on, dog.
Austin Reeves is like, unless you want to count Austin Reeves as the young star.
It's
press X to doubt on this side of the screen on that. I love Austin Reeves, but star.
Gosh.
I don't know about that.
Couldn't
let 25 of those.
I think you have to, right? Is that kind of I think we're both on the same page. I think it was
you can't not
right? Like, he was great down the stretch. He was, they looked better in the playoffs than they looked all season. And we're going to do some tier rankings soon, but I would put them in I think they got a shot. In the I would put them in a championship window type team. You can't let them get away. It's just interesting because LeBron has started to show decline too, and his contract's over next year. And we all know the rumors have been he wants to play with his son. So unless the Lakers can draft him or get him, that doesn't, I don't
Which,
think that.
in my opinion, I don't think it's that unrealistic. The only reason right now I think that Bronny might not make it to the Laker draft pick is because of the fact that we all know LeBron wants to play with Bronny. I think he will be overvalued.
Yeah.
He's being overvalued right now. I mean, we saw it before this most recent draft. We saw people doing their 2024 projections, putting Bronny in the top 10. And with all due respect, that is absurd. It's absurd.
How much does that, just play into it? Like, everybody is trying to get LeBron, so they're going to over jump and draft him. I mean, there's also now the elephant in the room of he just had that heart situation. Who knows? Like, he might not play this year. Like, who knows if he plays this year? He might get pushed to. A lot of those guys have to sit a year if they can come back. And we don't know the details. It's not been talked about, but it's one of those years. So who knows? Maybe they can get LeBron to sign a team friendly 1-year deal. Like, this is pretty. The numbers seem crazy, but it really helps out LA this year. Like, because the number doesn't change this year. So I love LA's offseason. I hate that I say that. I hate it. I hate the Lakers. I am not a fan, but I think they did I think their offseason was one of the best ones in the league. I really think they did a great job.
Yeah, I can't argue there. Yeah, they did a great job. I think they did the necessary job here. So
yeah, I think that's the best way to. Yes, I think it's.
Yeah.
They don't have any draft capital because they traded for him, and they've done enough trades. Like, I think you had to. I think that's both of us. Just like, yep, they had to do it.
Don't love it. Doesn't get this. This reminds me of one of my favorite scenes from History of the World Part 1 when Caesar's just sitting there. Nice, not thrilling, but nice. That's just kind of how I feel about this.
No, I would agree with that. Yeah.
What are you gonna? You can't not bring him back. You didn't break the bank. I mean, these contracts just feel silly these days.
Well, they're going to get worse. The cap's projected to go up 10% every year, and it's percentage. Yeah. Like, just wait till Tatum signs his next year. Like, they're going to keep getting bigger.
So with that in mind,
that's an interesting. Those numbers are so interesting in the debate on how they go against your cap and stuff, specifically the super maxes that, like, Tatum will get one of those. That's what Jaylen Brown got. Those are interesting debates and talking points, and it's interesting.
Someone else on the East Coast of the NBA had a very interesting week, to say the least. Mr. Josh Hart has really experienced the roller coaster that is life as a celebrity in New York, because
oh man, I saw
he got this big contract, and apparently, a humble man, he didn't go bragging about it on Tinder, because a day after he signs this big deal with the Knicks, our man gets stood up on a date.
Sick. I saw it. Yeah.
Oh, and my heart broke when he made eye contact with the cameraman. It just
looked right into it.
Yeah, and I could just see his soul.
He's like us. Moment. He's one of us, Kev. He's one of us.
Yeah.
Made me like him just a little bit more. Like, he's one of us. God, that's so bad. Oh man, I saw that earlier today, and I was like, my heart just.
Right. It's like, well, it happens to him. That's what happens, man. Because he plays with heart. He hustles. He gives it his all. So, he's probably just an earnest, hard-working guy, and he just gets shafted out here. It's her loss. That's all I got to say. Little does she know.
Yeah, I don't know if she didn't know who this was, but the man just signed a $81 million contract extension. Whoops.
Yeah, just imagine walking away from generational wealth. I hope she feels the sting of that at some point, because bullet dodged for you, Josh Hart. Congratulations. But as far as
on two fronts.
Right, exactly. Bullet dodged and bag secured. Now, how we both not super thrilled about the Lakers signing. Josh Hart is one, although I would never try to compare him to Anthony Davis, and if Anthony Davis is healthy, he's the better player. He's getting picked in fantasy. He's getting fantasy drafted before Josh Hart every single time. However, for what this team needs, what it has, and who is currently on the roster, I feel like Josh Hart is a little bit more of it's a more exciting move, right?
He played so well after the trade deadline, man. He did. He was very important to that team down the stretch. Like, as soon as he got traded over there, it's like his career changed. He got with his Villanova brother, Jalen Brunson, and I mean, he played 51 games in Portland, 25 with the Knicks. He shot 52% from three when he came over. Up from 30% with Portland. He's scored more per game. He was so good for them. Like, that was one I really liked when it happened. I did not know it was going to play out that well.
Yeah, right. I don't think anyone could have seen to to that extent, I guess. I think we all, those who have been watching Josh Hart for some time and following it, or just the NBA in general, would know at this point that Josh Hart's a quality player. But he's always been, I wouldn't even call him a 3-and-D guy. He's normally just been known as one of those, almost more like a defensive-minded DeRozan, where it's like he's got some good game inside the arc. I wouldn't say that his mid-range game is quite to DeMar's level, but what he does defensively is so much more. But that sort of combining that with the energy of playing with his old teammate and just being in a familiar area and just the energy that was around. I mean, those defensive plays, those hustle plays that, they started to turn into baskets for other people. It helped them with their pace of play. I think he'll continue to blossom, honestly. There will likely be even more opportunity for him, especially now, right? Because now back has been secured. Now we just have to hope that he doesn't go on any cold streaks. Elsewise, he might find himself banished from Tom Thibodeau's rotation.
Yeah, you
much
know,
like
you know
Evan
that,
Fournier.
man. You know that. That's the kicker there. So he's an career average 35% free three-point shooter. That stretch with the Knicks this year was the best of his career, obviously. So he was probably somewhere, maybe can he get to 40? He was averaging 32 minutes a game in the playoffs. Like, he was fourth behind Barrett, Brunson, Randall. He was not in Top Thibodeau's doghouse. He was on the absolute off. And he's not as old as Anthony Davis. So this extension, he's only 28. So this puts him like 28 to 33 is the extension range. Like, that's pretty solid. As long as he can shoot it at an elite level, he'll be fine. He'll lose a little bit of athleticism, but I like this one. I think he fits great with the Knicks. I love this one.
Yeah, oh yeah, there we go. The new look. It's it won't be here for long. I had an opportunity. I'll actually get to plug a little something here. Shameless plug. I am fortunate enough to be editing a feature film right now for a dear friend of mine, Noah Nichols. I will announce the name when it is allowed to be announced. But this thing's going into competition. It's going to be submitted here in the Nightmare Film Festival.
Nice.
And one of the joys of being an editor is sometimes there's a small role that needs to be recast, or something needs to happen that wasn't originally thought of, and we're like, well, we need a character for this. So I was already in the movie as my bearded normal self. So in order to play this different, in order to play this different role, I had to shave into a goatee and walk around without my glasses like a blind person. So
unfortunately, how many walls did you walk into?
Oh, several. And I was outside, so who knows whose walls I was walking into. But I tried to go from goatee to mustache, and I immediately got a notice that, I wasn't allowed to be within 100 feet of the nearest school. So I had to go ahead and shave that mustache off right there, just to make sure I didn't look like a creep. It is horrible. So yeah, can't wait for this to grow back. Luckily, you can see it's starting to come back already. So
Slowly, it'll get there.
we'll be the balded, bearded brothers soon enough again. But thank you, Trev, for hanging out. Hey, don't forget, those of you in the chat watching, Trev will be doing some best ball drafts tomorrow night. So tune in for that. I'm certain he's going to have a better team than the poor one I forced him to draft. That was a little too Colts heavy back in the day, but we'll get back in there soon enough. Hey, early reports are that Josh Downs is catching everything. All right. So
oh my God, here we go.
We got at least one good thing. All right, I got to get back. I guess we should take it back to the hardwood. What would we like to talk about next?
How about this comment from Nate? Because I don't even know what this means.
Oh, Peter Yerkin. Who do I need to pull that up, Jamie? All right, let me see.
Yeah, Jamie, would you get that?
Yerkin. We need that's what we need. If you are in college and interested in an internship, Bite Size Sports is looking for a part-time producer.
Oh, he's some transfer from, of course, he's an Indiana basketball transfer.
Ooh, okay. All right, we'll take a look at that.
From 2014.
What?
7%. Who is this guy?
That's a deep cut. I thought we were talking about something cool. What are you doing? What are you doing to me, Nate? Peter Yerkin.
Yeah, he's Peter Yerkin.
East Tennessee State Buccaneer, baby. Look at that.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
It looks like he might now be the owner of Yummy's Ice Cream. Okay. Very nice.
I wonder if he
very nice.
Look at that. Forbes. I'd have to look. That's interesting.
Oh, look at that. Nate just coming in here dropping some
That's a deep cut that we weren't ready for.
Yeah, was not ready for that.
Not our game yet.
He apparently and Nate partied with him. There we go.
Yeah.
Look at that. See?
Big time. That's big time.
The biggest at least NBA player that I have partied with would be one Mr. Greg Oden. He was not a fan of my comedic styling, so let's just put it that way.
Well, that's his loss, not yours.
Yeah. You know, hey. It was the same day I had that creepy mustache we were talking about. It's probably why I didn't want to be around.
It's not his problem. Trev, listen, we're not talking. I'm tired of your NFL takes. Like, you didn't have D-Top in your top 15 last night, man. I ain't got time for you, man. Shout out Dan. Shout out Dan. He's still got my back.
Hey, while we're talking about getting in fights over football and stuff, I should point out, don't go anywhere because we want you right here hanging out with us. But as soon as you're done, go check out the OSCA Racing. The winter session has started over on 3 Wide TV on YouTube. And our Bite Size Sports number 9 in what started out as a complete joke is actually painted black and blue like the Colts alternates tonight. Yeah, so go check it out.
He did it.
Go check it out. I'm sorry. I think Vic.
Listen, I'm gonna act like it's not has nothing to do with it. I thought it looked great.
Listen, I'm working on I want there to be an alt logo for every color scheme for every NFL team we represent on the network. But I've already been told that Vic Bloom, our wonderful artist, is not going to be putting any Oilers car together.
One of our biggest fans is hopping in here as we're talking racing. Our boy Justin Herbert. It's been too long, my friend. It's been too long.
What's up, Justin? Appreciate you, sir. Yeah, hopping on in. Give us your NBA take. Hey, we're talking FIBA and Hall of Fame coming up. But if you've got any questions or takes, you're going to want to tune in potentially next week, Justin. I don't know. We're going to be doing our tier list. You know, where are the Sixers? Are they going to be in our title contender tier? Are they going to be in our playoff run tier? Are they going to be in our send help? Yeah. Are they going to be in our what are we doing? Chicago, Toronto, foreshadowing.
I know we've been saying that for, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 months at this point.
At this point, we're contractually obligated to put them in that tier. Otherwise, we're going to have to switch sides. We're going to have to do some kind of rebrand.
We really have to. Like they're stuck. It's not our problem. They did it. They did it.
Well, you might not be seeing Peter Yerkin in the FIBA tournaments this year, but I've also,
you don't know
there's some interesting discourse around this FIBA tournament. So, as some of you know, I'm an editor for Last Word on Sports, and in our basketball department, we have our own Discord as well. And some of the conversations in there were interesting. People were asking, "Do you think USA is going to win it all in FIBA?" And someone responded, "I don't even think they're going to sniff the podium." So, what in the wild world of sports is going on with the
What are you?
FIBA tournament? I've seen one. There was a pretty big upset. Was it in Africa? I believe there was a pretty big upset. We'll have to
We
look at.
still have a team full of NBA players, right? Like still
That's
loaded.
last I checked, but
What What universe do these people live in?
I'm trying to figure out which team it is that, because there's
I'm scrolling
usually a
through the
couple,
rosters right now.
right? Like France, I don't think so. Not right now.
Australia's got a weird amount. Didn't see this one come. Weird amount of NBA players.
Yeah.
Xavier Cook, Dyson Daniels, Dante Exum, Josh Giddey, Josh Green, Joe Ingles, Jock Londale, Patty Mills, Matisse Tybel, Jack White.
Oh,
That's
Matisse. I was saying, did they finally graduate from Matthew Dellavedova? They
he is
finally.
officially not there
He
anymore.
ain't there this
That is
time.
quite a wild group. Germany's got the Wagner brothers, Schroeder and Daniel Theus. Canada. Oh my God, we can't lose to the Canadians. Don't even. They've got some.
It's a win-win for me, baby.
Canada's Jamal Murray, Shea Gilgeough-Alexander, R.J. Barrett, Dylan Brooks, Lou Dort, and Nikhil Alexander Walker, Kelly Olynyk, Dwight Powell. That is a lot. There's a lot of Canadians there. France, Frank Ntilikina, Nicholas Batum, Evan Fournier, Rudy Gobert. Latvia's got Chris Stapps and Davis Bertans. That Canadian team would be the team that's quite a I don't know, the Greece team of Giannis and Thanasis. I mean, Thanasis is going to be just flying up and down the court. Don't know what he'll do with the ball, but he'll be flying.
he'll definitely be running.
The best player in the NBA, Karl Anthony Towns, is playing for Dominican. I don't know, Kev. Can any team beat this? It's Paolo, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, your boy, Josh Hart. We just talked about him. Brandon Ingram, Jaren Jackson Jr., Cameron Johnson, Walker Kessler, Bobby Portis, Austin Reeves. Is anybody beating that team, man?
You know, I think now I understand where the pessimism is coming from, but no, I don't think
still
that's a team that's going to lose. But
I
I
know
get
there's
it.
no Steph Currys and stuff like that.
Yep.
There's
a certain
a
lack
lot of up and coming, really good players. Jaren Jackson's defensive player of the year, Austin Reeves on a mega contract. Your favorite player in the NBA, Brandon Ingram. Like there's dogs.
And not to mention Tyrese Halliburton. You know, we got some Justin Herbert in the chat. We got
poor Justin Herbert.
Okay, what is this?
Gonna end up with Tyler Hero. So Justin Herbert's theoretical trade here is Tyler Hero is going to end up with the 76ers. That means James Harden is going God knows where, and somehow Damian Lillard has to end up in Miami.
Okay, so for the audio listeners, I'm going to read this one. We got 100% going all the way next year from Justin Herbert. He says, we are getting Levine and Hero in a 3-team trade, or Dame, or getting Terrence Mann, Bones Highland. I would like that. Hold that one. I like that one. I like both of those players very much, but I would like to see them actually not be on the same team, because I think they do a lot of the same things well, and then therefore they kind of cannibalize each other. Batum, Morris, Powell, for Harden, Tobias, and a second rounder. Okay, well, I like that you've got some options there. I think it'd be probably best suited to go for some of those rotational pieces to fill it out. He says, real talk, Australia's about to take it. So what do you think?
Second team, like if you're giving me odds without looking at them, I'd put Australia number 2.
Over Canada, you think? You think Australia's better than Canada?
Let me take that back. Canada number 2.
That's kind of where I'm at. I think Canada's probably number 2 right now. Put Australia right around there, though.
Listen, Herbert, I'll never forget, for audio listeners, I have a bet on the line. There is a shoey on the line if Damian Lillard does not go to Miami.
Shoey, man.
I will be joining the Shoey Hall of Fame. and I will be joining the infamous Nate in the Shoey Hall of Fame, the bite-sized Shoey Hall of Fame.
We got to get T-shirts made once there's a second.
We really do.
Oh, that's going to be great. And speaking of, well, actually, I guess before we move, that would have been a good transition. Damn it. Oh, well, we'll find another one to transition back to the Hall of Fame. But Herbert says Embiid might play for USA. You see that? Now, I'd heard something about that, James.
Oh, I missed that one.
Do you know anything else about this? I saw it mentioned, but I haven't heard much, and I don't put a lot of trust in what I see on Twitter anymore. So that was one of those.
That would be very interesting. It'd be a hell of an ad, I'll tell you that.
I'll be the asshole here and say Joel Embiid should not be playing any international basketball. He's got enough tread missing from those tires.
His body it's taken a beating, and he missed a lot. I mean, he was hurt that first year in the league. Like, you need to sit down, son. I want you playing meaningful games in the NBA. Take a seat.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of having like your ace going out and pitching in the World Baseball Classic. Be like, no, thank you. No,
Edwin
you're already
Diaz tearing his ACL.
Yeah, you're already on a innings restriction, probably in the sport that we're paying you millions of dollars for. I'm good on the sorry, but the old country is going to have to find somebody else to take your spot, bud, because you're too valuable for what you're being paid to do.
You stay out. You stay out of there.
Yeah. Oh, and then we got one more trade. He says Harden, Tobias, and Korkmaz for Powell, Bones, Morris, and Batum. Harden, Tobias. I mean, I like Bones. I kind of feel like the Clippers win that trade.
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess he's offloading Tobias Harris's contract. That's where it's the key there.
Tobias Harris going back to being the fourth option in the Clipper and in LA going back to the situation that led him to be overpaid in the first place is poetry to me. But with Harden there, I'm not sure.
This one this is a PG rated show, but I have to show this off. Expletive baseball Padres got me wearing paper bags over my head. Poor guy. Like,
you know what? That's a perfect time for me to actually show you what Leon the Tiger's shirt says.
Leon the Tiger.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice. For anybody, it says explicitive. Anybody listen? Expletive you. That's quite nice. And white and pink.
My old job had some perks. So we've got all of this FIBA nonsense going on. I don't know. So I think we're both on board that we still think Team USA is going to win it.
Now that starts next. Let me see here. We're August 25th, so we're actually a couple of weeks out here still.
Yep, we are getting there.
That? Oh, it's in. Where are these games? Manila, Okinawa, and Jakarta.
Japan. I believe, right? Okinawa.
Is it? Yeah, I'm reading that makes the most sense.
Herbert likes Leon.
Yes, he's a fan.
We've got a fan. Let's go. I'll have to get maybe if they still make those things, maybe I'll get one that says that and then has bite-sized sports
logo on the back. Seems like a good. I'm about it.
We do have a merch store incoming, by the way. It's actually already live. It's just currently only open to friends and family. So it'll be live to all of you very soon. You have your very own bite-sized sports merch. Before we transition, Justin Herbert says he has a question for you, James.
Justin, what's the question, my friend? What is it, buddy?
Is it going to be about owls?
Oh my God! Don't make me cry.
I was going to say, was it always the Owls?
We're going to be Owl City next year. We're going to be playing Owl City, that song.
For the record, I still have not deleted the banner that says it was always the Nuggets, and I can prove it. It's right here.
Yeah,
I've just been leaving it buried here on StreamYard. Shout out again to StreamYard.
It was always the Nuggets. Well, while we wait for Justin Herbert's question, he's frozen in time at the moment. Kev, let's talk Hall of Fame. So the Hall of Fame induction ceremony is this weekend. Now, these teams were announced back in April. We've never touched on this. So I'm going to read the names, and then we can. Hold on, we're going to pause for station identification because Justin Herbert did what we thought he was going to do. Did you know it was always the Owls? Question mark. Question mark. It was Kev. It has always been the Owls, Justin Herbert. It's always going to be the Owls, and they're coming back this year. That whole team's back. Prep yourself. I mean, we're going to have some FAU gear on at some point.
Yeah, thank God for college basketball, because college football makes me very sad. And you know, if you want to know how sad, you can go watch our video entitled "The Death of College Football."
We were very, very sad last night. So let's rattle these off real quick, and then we'll talk individuals. You got Gene Bass, Gary Blair, Paul Gasol, Lakers, Becky Hammond, current WNBA head coach, was a hell of a player in the WNBA. David Hickson, Gene Katie, former Purdue coach. Nate's going to hate that one. Dirk Nowitzki, Tony Parker, Greg Popovich, Jim Valvano, D. Wade, and then the 76 U.S. Women's Olympic team. Where do you want to start, Kev?
I want to start with the part that I hate about the Basketball Hall of Fame, which is, with no disrespect to the 1976 U.S. Women's Olympic team, I really wish that the NBA had its own Hall of Fame. So much so,
I agree with that.
I am going to propose, James, because this is something that has been long in the works here at Bite Size Sports, and I just have never had the staff to do it. I think you, myself, John Boyd, I think we are the guys to do it. So I'm going to propose that during either the next stretch of downtime, maybe it won't happen until next off season, maybe we'll get one in before this regular season starts. I'm going to propose that Bite Size Sports and the Bounce needs to begin their own NBA Hall of Fame.
The Bite Size Hall of Fame. I can get on board with that.
And we will go back, and I say we start with the earliest. We do it kind of by decade early on or whatever. We can do, you know, because we got some catching up to do.
Yeah.
I think there are certain eras of
basketball. We got to set some parameters. We could have some fun with that.
And start to figure out how many go in a class. And then I'm thinking maybe we do it by 5-year increments. Yep. So that way it doesn't take us 60 episodes to get caught up to where the NBA currently is.
About it.
But, you know, because then, you know, I'll, like Jim Valvano as well, I do believe he should be in the college basketball Hall of Fame. And I'm not saying that this basketball Hall of Fame should still exist. I think the NBA needs its own. So that's where I'd like to start.
Basketball's always been goofy. Like NBA or the NFL had their induction ceremony last weekend, and it was specifically to them. It's goofy because you've got a mix of, you know, Jim Valvano, North Carolina State's head coach. You had an Olympic team, Gene Katie, Purdue's head coach, Gary Blair is Texas A&M's women coach. David Hickson is a longtime coach at Division III Amherst, won over 1,300 games. It's just a wild mix. Then you got players coming in. It's so interesting. Kev, I've got a very hot take before we go really deep into this about a problem I've always had with college or basketball's Hall of Fame, whatever that you want to call this, how this works. I hate that coaches get inducted while they're still coaching.
Oh, yeah.
I do not like that Greg Popovich is getting inducted in the Hall of Fame right now while he's still coaching.
I agree with that.
Coach Calipari had it happen to him a couple years ago. I do not like that. I don't like that one bit.
I completely agree with that. I don't understand it. It feels so unnecessary. So the only other business that I see do this are the WWE Hall of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And those things have two big key components that are like, that's entertainment. That is controlled storyline type stuff. So maybe like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah. They like, cause you see sometimes same thing with the WWE, people will get enshrined as an individual act, and then they'll get enshrined a second time as their band. And I can see right through it. I'm like, oh, they just don't have any musicians to add this year. So they're adding people who have already been in there, but who were in for a band, and now they're going to add them just as an individual. WWE does that all the time because they can't build new stars very well, so they're constantly milking the nostalgic glands of the 90s. So Hulk Hogan is in there.
90s was elite.
For sure it was. And you know, There's guys, anybody who was in the NWO, for instance, is in the
Yes.
WWE Hall of Fame 3 to 4 times.
Yep.
It's goofy, and some of them are still active to this day. So in sports, I think that's nonsensical because there's always plenty of nominees. I
Mhm.
like for instance, what's the NFL rule? Is it 5 years after you've been retired before you're
NFL is
eligible?
5, yes, because so I was sitting in Raleigh last weekend with some friends, and we were talking NFL, and we're like, no way Darrelle Revis has been out 5 years. We're like, no way. No way. And he has.
Can't wait for him to fight Asante Samuel. I'm really
Oh
looking
my
forward to that
God.
boxing match.
I want to bring up Justin Herbert's comment about Kyle Korver. Like I love Kyle Korver, and I would love to see him get in. I don't know. I'd have to really look at them stats.
That's an interesting one. Let me see what old Basketball Reference has to say about this Kyle
I have to
Korver
look that up. I'm
business.
pulling up. Nate's posted a Twitter link for us, so I'm trying to pull it up while you're doing that.
So let's see. Kyle Korver, 43% 3-point field goal percentage for his career. There's a word for that. It's pretty good.
Sniper.
Only a one-time All-Star. That probably is going to count against him.
Yeah,
He's
how
got the
many he played
longevity. I
for?
mean, what is
Yeah,
that?
the
16
longevity.
years in the
Yeah.
NBA.
I don't know.
I would love to know where he stands as far as like career 3-pointers made, right? Like where is
career
he on
3-pointers.
that
Yeah.
list?
Mhm.
Yeah, because other than that,
There's probably not a
like it's
case
a good
there.
career, but yeah, what do we talk about? I mean, he averaged less than 10 points per game.
Yeah. Compared to
So it's
somebody,
just kind of
somebody similar,
hard.
it's kind of like JJ. JJ's got a better case than him. One of my
Yeah.
favorite players ever is sleeve JJ down the
Well,
backstretch of his career when he got the whole arm sleeve.
and that's where JJ gets in. You know, JJ likes this current Hall of Fame because you can add his Duke run, and no one can
Correct. Yeah.
deny
Oh, he was
that he
stellar.
was a game changer at the college level.
Mhm.
One of the best shooter. I
He
mean,
turned into a
he
much
was
better
Steph
NBA player
Curry
than I ever
before
expected.
Steph Curry
Yeah.
was it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that a big testament that he was able to
Okay.
become a more complete player.
He averaged
Because I
12.8 a game, played 11, 13, 15, 17 seasons. Career 3.39 point, oh no, 41.5 for his career. His is interesting.
Nate's pulled up the
Yes, so Shams just tweeted out the NBA Christmas schedule, and I'm going to steal this from you.
Yeah, go for it.
As I do have it up. Yeah, Shams is working
Christmas
with
Day
us.
slate. Look
30
at that.
minutes ago, we tweeted it out.
Attaboy. Shout out to Shams and shout out to Nate. Thank you,
Appreciate
sir.
you,
See, look
Nate.
at that. Reporting from the sidelines on the bounce. We love it. Ooh, he also has a good question for us after this. So
Ooh, that one, we'll get to that.
I like
Bucks at
that one.
Knicks.
Thank you,
We were just talking about Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo going to the Knicks. That's fantastic. 76ers at Heat is a lot of intrigue and a lot of TBA because there's pieces for the 76ers that we don't know if James Harden's going to be there, and a major piece for the Heat that people are expecting them to get when Damian Lillard, but still has not happened.
ultimately would still be a very good game, even if those two teams went into battle as they're built today.
As they're built today, yes. Celtics, Lakers.
That's a really good the only one that worries me, honestly, is Bucks Knicks, but it's early enough in the season that I think that one will be because the Knicks are so inconsistent, right? What Knicks team are we gonna? Are they gonna be a team that starts off strong and then has that downtime in the no man's land middle of the season and then get hot? Because that's kind of how things went last year, right? Like there was a time people were like, "Oh wow, the Knicks are gross," and then they kind of brought it back. Yeah, even I mean, Nate, I disagree. I would say Celtics Lakers is the most sexy just because it is a classic rivalry. And the teams are good. If they're not good, then it's just you're forcing it on us.
You've got a different Celtics team, and the Lakers did everything they should have. Oh, here we go.
I think Celtics Lakers is the perfect Christmas Day game when both teams are relevant.
That's probably
Because
mid-afternoon. That's right when I'm fat and lazy, and I'm going to be on the couch because I've ate too much Christmas food, and I'm going to be sitting there.
and they're the two most
Great.
recognizable brands in the NBA. I mean,
yeah, they are. Yes, you're absolutely correct.
there was a time you could have made the argument for Chicago, but they have done their best to just ruin that for themselves.
Mavericks Suns is a superstar battle.
That's what happens. You get
players out there.
The West Coast games are always the hoop head games. Like, not that Mavs Suns won't be like must see TV because of Luka and Durant, but like Warriors Nuggets before this last season, nobody's staying up to watch that 10:30 Christmas game, but now
they are.
Now they will. And this is one of the best Christmas Day slates
that's a
have seen
loaded
in a
when
long
you're
time.
saying Bucks Knicks, who is two top 4 teams in the East, is the worst game possibly of the day. That's a monster. That's a great NBA slate. Like, and the NBA's got to compete against the NFL on Christmas Day, so to throw the hammer down, that's great. That's exciting.
Yeah, I love that for the league. Nate says Chicago was only relevant in the 90s and nothing more. I will counter that by saying if Derrick Rose had not gotten hurt, there was a possibility that the Bulls could have stayed in that tier of relevancy. See also if they had held on to one Jimothy Butler and not been so keen to move on from him. So they've had – I'm not disagreeing with you completely, Nate, but what I'm saying is because of that 90s dominance, they became a global brand. Michael Jordan is one of the main reasons basketball in a whole became those Jordan shoes, the dream team, all that stuff.
Yep.
So the Bulls had this opportunity. And then when Derrick Rose came around, they had the opportunity to try to cultivate that to continue. I mean, Chicago is a massive market. Look at the Cubs. They were horrible for 100 years, and we're still one of the most popular teams in baseball. The Bulls very well could have been one of those staples, and now they're just, they're Jag. They're just another group of guys.
That brand means nothing today as it used to.
Chicago team ownership just
not
good.
Let's get back to Nate's question.
The Hall of Fame.
Robert Horry a Hall of Famer?
Robert Horry is, based on some Jordan fans' arguments, Robert Horry is the GOAT, right? 7 times. Oh, wait, no, Bill Russell's the GOAT. They call him, we call Robert Horry in my house, we call him 007. Was it, I can't remember, 0 MVPs, 0 All-Stars, 7 championships.
Yeah. I get Big Shot Bob, but his career stats say absolutely not. Career averages 7 points a game.
How mad is Bob Horry that there wasn't a dipshit clutch award when he was in the league? Because he'd have
won it 75 billion times.
Because that's all he did. He would just
buried threes.
Hit those late second ones. Here, we'll share this with the folks. The Nate Goldeneye, I love it. Yeah, let's so you can see for yourself. 92-93 all rookie team. Yeah, 7 point. I mean, even that career field goal percentage from 3 is at 34. That's average for a shooter, right? That's not not good.
Now, if there was a clutch, you could look at
if the Lakers last year, right? Yeah, if they had that stat, it's probably better. But if the Lakers had added a guy with a career of 34% to their roster this last year, we'd have said that's not the right shooting help they need. That ain't what they need. So I would have to say, honestly,
hot take from Nate here, he would take Horry over Korver, Robert Horry over. I guess when you factor in the 7 championships and the major shots he hit, you're probably right. Like, I actually don't know if I could disagree with you.
And we're looking at Korver's got him on longevity. Korver played longer, scored more points, hit more threes, was more efficient. And that's what's crazy. Because Robert Horry played on better teams, he had more opportunities to hit clutch baskets. Those Rocket teams, like he started out on those, on those Rocket teams, right here.
That would have been Akeem.
90. Yeah, he's on these 2 championship Rocket teams right here. yeah, so he had all these great opportunities. And did we mention this? We said Lakers and Spurs too, right? So,
Yep, Lakers
um,
Spurs finished out with
yeah,
those two.
he's basically better just because of who he associated himself with.
Yeah, there's also
It's
that
crazy.
too.
But yeah, so in my humble opinion, neither of these guys are getting my vote. But
Yeah, sorry boys, I don't think either of you get in.
there's only room for one shooter in my Hall of Fame, and it's Reggie Miller.
In the bite-size Hall of Fame, we're going to be very specific on who gets in.
Yeah, we're gonna spend some time. We're gonna spend some time, put some
It's gonna
effort
be
into
fun.
that. Nate says he's a big Kirk Heinrich fan, but that Kirk's not making it. Nate, when you're talking stats like Corver and Ori, the championships matter. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, when you're splitting hairs between 7 points per game and 10, yeah, you might want to count those.
Yeah, like did Corver ever win one?
No. Corver, I want to say nothing beyond did he get one with the Cavs? I don't think so. No. He didn't even get one with the Cavs. Yeah, so he made it to the finals a couple of times.
I'm gonna pull it up just real quick, but I don't
made it to the conference championship with the Hawks that one time.
Never won one.
But yeah, no, he one time all-star. Had a bit of a run from Creighton. Shout out Creighton.
I think so. There's a wild.
No, there we go. I don't know.
You talk about factoring in college stuff. Corver was stellar in college. I think he was multi-time MVC player of the year. And they were going to the tournament. So if you do that, then you're with this dumb setup, like that's actually a possibility.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So if you consider Corver's college stuff, yeah, should be in there. Oh, he said the last 4 are jokes. Okay, I was about to say, I was like, Nate, that list got very pointed at the end. The teams he hates, Kentucky,
went right in a specific straight direction.
Wichita State,
I can agree with the first one. Like, man, now, Nebraska basketball sucks. So go ahead and hate them. You can hate the losers; they're terrible. I despise Kentucky for what they did to us in the tournament when we were undefeated and we lost to them when they shouldn't have been that seed. Wichita State's no good right now either. They got a new head coach. ISU had a decent year last year. We'll see how they do this year. And Creighton makes me sad because they were one basket away from the Final Four, and then 2 of their starters transferred because this era. That's all you do now.
So I think I went 20 years of my life before I knew where Creighton was. I was like, no, shit, get out of here for real.
I would argue
for some reason I always thought it was like a Big East school. You know, it's like
it is. Well, guess what? It is a Big East school now. I would argue that the casual fan does not know where Creighton is.
Let us know in the comments if you think you know where Creighton is. I was shocked.
It is now. Like, it's funny because now it is a Big East school, but
it
fit the mold so much that they went there.
They definitely did have that Big East feel. But yeah, so I'll switch this back over here so we can look at the. I think we've almost covered everybody that's not on the NBA list. I'll say, as far as this Hall of Fame goes. But we haven't talked much about our NBA brethren here, other than the fact we both agree that although Pop will be a first ballot Hall of Famer, there's no need for him to be on this ballot.
Yeah, we ended up in a rabbit hole there. Pau Gasol, there is quite an international flair. Gasol, Nowitzki, Tony Parker. They've paved the way for guys like Wemby getting drafted over the international flair in the league. Those guys brought that into the league. They did that. Nate, I really need to.
Yeah, let's do it.
I've always had a hot take that I thought Wichita State was a perfect fit in the Big 12, but the problem is they don't have football. But the Big 12 is such a mega, and their basketball team's fallen off the map. Yeah, that'd be a fun one. Glid knows where Creighton is.
Hey, there we
knows
go.
Where they're at. Let's go. I will stand by Dwayne Wade as one of my favorite players ever. In his first title, his first NBA title was back when I was still in high school, I think, and I was listening to it on the radio while working out in the fields, and man, like, he was just a terror. his stats from that run, that playoff run, are disgusting.
So much fun to watch. I remember that. I was in that age, at that point in life. You probably remember this, James, where when you were at the Y, you were at the gym where kids are emulating their favorite players. And I remember I had the D Wade shoes. No, this isn't Dwayne Wade's fault, but those shoes were awful. They did not. They had no traction. You're slipping and sliding off, but they looked damn good.
Yep.
And I just remember so many, like Dwayne Wade made it cool. He and Manu Ginobili just like made going off the glass cool, because like they'd go,
Yes.
It wasn't always
yeah.
dunks. It was like all this body control up in the air, the up and under, finger roll off the glass. And, for a guy like me who couldn't dunk, it was just great to be like, oh, there's some shit. Yeah.
The rim.
Yeah. Only on legacy leagues, the premier 8.5-foot rim league of the Northeast United States, which shout out to them, and you'll be hearing more from them, and they'll be hearing more of us. But
so
yeah,
Nate puts his ballot up here. Nate, these guys actually all are in. So these guys actually all get in. These guys are all confirmed. I don't know how this one works. Like, I don't think it's like, is it like the NFL where there's like 25 and then they narrow it down? I actually don't know.
I'm not sure either. I
really
will have
don't
to
know.
check on that.
Because you've got, what is this? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You had 11 going. It's interesting. It's an interesting I don't know. It's weird. Why is Jim Valvano so late to this?
Yeah, why didn't he already in it? That's absurd to me.
He passed away from cancer. Wasn't it cancer, right?
Mm-hmm.
A long time ago.
Yeah, I would say my Jimmy V Foundation shirt doesn't fit me anymore, because I've had it since before college, I think. So that one's pretty odd. That one's pretty odd. And Justin, we'll help you out here. I will say, to get the full experience, you can check it out on YouTube. We've got this, or roll back after the live is over. You can go back and watch it in all its glory. But if we're keeping college basketball in,
just NBA only.
For this, so let's put it this way: Corver is not going to make the bite-sized sports NBA Hall of Fame, but this current one that includes everything, I do think Kyle Corver, because of what James mentioned about what he did at Creighton, we do think, or at least I do think he might make it into this Hall of Fame.
He thinks he's in. Herbert says he could get that. His college career could help him get into the real one, which is this one. Ours is actually the more important one, so we'll be sending out trophies.
So I'm going to see if it says with 3 of the NBAs.
What are you looking for? I've read.
I wanted to see if there was how many. Like, is this full class? This is just everybody that's already getting in, right?
These guys they're getting enshrined this weekend. So
they're all getting. So how many were up for it? Like, I want to know who else was on the ballot. So I guess we won't know that answer to give you all the answer to that question.
I don't have a.
So for funsies, since we don't know, we don't have I guess let's just look at the NBA guys and say yes or no, would they go into our NBA Hall of Fame?
Okay,
I think that's the best way. And then I'll write these down and we'll keep them. I don't think they should be our inaugural class. I don't think that's fair to the guys who have played for 80 years or have been retired for 80 years, but we'll keep these guys penciled in.
Listen, it's NFL season's here, so I'm gonna take this with a grain. I'm gonna take this on some typical Titans fan. Hey, Justin Herbert, don't mind Darth Rabel back there.
Hey, if you want to see James and I talk more trash about football, you should go check out the Hall About Sports podcast, because we just did the AFC South Smack Talk division.
I came out of that as the winner. I'm gonna take that. Justin Herbert, man, I know you're my boy. You're my guy. You're my guy.
I love it.
I think, Kev, I'm going to be very honest with you on this one. Depending on the parameters and how many we can take from specific eras, etc., I have a very hard time not putting all 5 of all those guys in. Powell, Dirk, Tony. Is it 4? I'm miss one. Is it 5?
Powell, Dwayne
Powell,
Wade.
Powell, Dirk, Tony, D Wade.
And then Pop. I mean, Pop, when it's his time, he's a Hall of Famer.
As a coaching side, absolutely. All 4 of them are automatics for me.
Yeah, I'm good with all of them. The only one that might give me cause to take a closer look would be Powell, but the other ones,
Interesting. I would
Dirk,
have said Tony Parker would be my interesting one. We have to really dig these stats up.
I would
Let's just agree
also,
on something.
yep,
We're gonna auto induct our first two into our Hall of Fame. Dwayne Wade,
okay,
Dirkosaurus, they're in.
yep, absolutely,
Doors open.
100%,
Doors
lock
open
it
for
in.
them.
Yeah,
What?
that's for sure. And then Parker and Powell will look into a little more closely. I think they'd probably make
I
it,
think so
but
too. I just love to look at the stats because I just don't know them good enough. You're talking multi-title. I mean, Dirk is the only one that's not a multi-title guy, but he's got Dallas their only title ever, and they went multiple times. He also who? Wow, here's a question for you: who would have been Dirk's best player he played with?
Technically either Steve Nash or Jason Kidd, but it was so early that
Yeah,
it
he didn't win the
didn't
title with
matter.
them, right?
I think Jason Kidd
Was
had
Jason
come
Kidd on that
back.
team?
I think it was old Jason
Oh, it was
Kidd that
old
was
J
on
Kid.
that kid. Yeah.
It wasn't MVP. That's right. It wasn't
I think they
MVP. J
played when
Kid.
they were both really young, and then I know he played for at least 1 year with a young Steve Nash, but he wasn't Dirk yet. So when he was in his peak, I don't know who was his best teammate. I mean, there were years where JJ Barea and Jason Terry were his two
Yes.
best teammates.
The Jet. That's who I remember. Jason.
They were
Terry.
setting hella screens out there. My favorite quote ever, favorite post game quote ever. JJ
Yeah.
Barea. My guys were setting hella screens. Oh, my boy. Oh, that's cool.
Iverson was a dog.
He's introducing D Wade. That's pretty cool, and that's honestly really fitting.
Is he
I
really?
think
That's actually cool as hell.
those were two play styles that I really
Quite similar.
liked growing up. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Quite similar. Quite similar.
That's good. Well, I'm pretty good with where we're at on the Hall of Fame here, James. Are there any
Yep.
of these other names you want to look at before I pull this off screen?
Nope. Do you know anything about the 1976 U.S. Women's Olympic team? Because I actually don't.
I do not.
I might have to go down that
We'll
rabbit
have
hole.
to, yeah.
I don't know anything about that. They were so far before this article doesn't show anything on them either, which is interesting.
It makes me want to go back and look at do you remember the controversial time that we lost a men's basketball game? I think it was to Russia.
Oh, the cheaters.
It's like the anti-miracle on ice. It's like the
Yeah.
opposite of that.
Complete opposite.
Yeah, I want to
don't
go
know
back
anything about
and
it.
dive into that rabbit hole while we're at. It was a very weird thing. Like there might have been some extra time on the clock. There might have been some
That wouldn't surprise me.
interesting stuff going
Here's
on.
it.
Ooh, Eduardo Nahara.
That's a deep cut. Yeah.
Guys, if you're into playing Immaculate Grid or Hoops Grids, write that one down. Eduardo Nahara. He played on a couple of different teams.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's going to be a less than 3% guy if you drop that one in.
Yep.
All right, so I think we have hit the main course today. I think the last little bit that we have is to talk about slam ball, brother.
This is your sport, dog. This is your sport.
I cannot believe slam ball is back. I'm excited that it's still here. Part of me was worried that this would be one of those flash in the pan things that
still going strong.
It might not play as well now as it did back then, but no, man, the trampoline sport, it's going pretty strong right now. I'm having a good time. I've yet to watch full games, but for me, slam ball might be, yes. If they can get a popular YouTube following and social media, I think the league will actually be better for the modern era than it was for the early 2000s because it is a highlight driven sport. Watching full games isn't really going to be where they make their money. It's going to be those ridiculous clips that they can post.
It's going to be the dunks over people.
And then, hopefully they'll be able to draw a crowd for their championship game and stuff like that. But I don't know, just be on the lookout for more slam ball updates. I'll probably keep that stuff over on Late Night Bites, but you know, when we get to the championship and stuff like that, we might come back here, might pull some highlights to show you guys every once in a while. But yeah, I'm excited. I love this time for the sport of basketball. We've got Ice Cube's Big Three, which hits me with all the blends of nostalgia for
Justin Herbert knows. He's been watching
not only the old, I mean, Chris Jackson, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, and Rashard Lewis have been playing in the big three. Like just some
Yes,
phenomenal players that are just old. That's just all it is. That
they're
Corey
just old.
Maggette was a dog.
Oh,
So you got
dude.
the big three, and now because of that, or along with that, with FIBA and the Olympics introducing 3-on-3. Did you see what Jimmer Fredette has done in the 3-on-3 game? Like the dude is out
No, but
there
I'm
looking
sure
like
it's
BYU
wild.
Jimmer in 3-on-3 half court
Yeah,
basketball.
yeah,
It's
I'm sure.
insane.
I bet he's absolutely impossible to guard.
We've got legacy leagues, which runs winter and summer leagues where they have
I could
eight and a
dunk on
half foot
those
rims,
rims.
4-on-4 full court games where everyone can dunk. Like it's just a great time. There's Bader ball, there's full contact MMA basketball. It's just a great time for sports in general because we all have more free time and
Mhm.
with more automation, there's less jobs. So we're all trying to get paid to entertain each other. So it's a great
Yep.
time for sports in general. But my God, I'm very happy for basketball. And hey, since
Mhm.
basketball has an open door policy on its Hall of Fame, let's not rule out slam ball, folks, for being potential inductees.
Looks
Did
like
I
looks
see?
like Justin Herbert
Oh,
has a
I did. Justin, you're gonna like this because I actually am gonna be doing a late night bite this week about it because I I used to have a wrestling podcast and it kind of fell off the wagon. And so I still want to talk about that stuff. I have a combat podcast coming on with our friends at Carnage Media, but I am actually going to review SummerSlam here sometime this week on Late Night Bites. But yes, I did see Jimmy Uso pulled that on SummerSlam. My quick thoughts on that. I really liked this storyline. I thought it was some of the best work they had done in the WWE in years, but for me, SummerSlam jumped the shark. They
so
needed to either introduce someone new or whatever. It's
mhm.
they gotta get me back.
So here's your 76 one. First women's national team captain was Pat Summit. There it is.
Oh, heck
Yep.
yeah.
We
Thank
know
you,
who
Caitlin.
that is.
That's awesome.
Everybody knows
Hey,
who that is.
we have the best audience. They're out here not just contributing in the usual, here's a question, here's a thought. We've got a damn research team on here. Thank you. We got Justin,
That's our
Nate,
Jamie.
Caitlin.
We need a couple Jamies out there.
Yeah, here we go. Ask and you shall receive. That's amazing. Thank you,
Yep.
guys. Keep up the great work. Justin drops the Reggie Evans name. Yeah, big three.
Reggie Evans.
Michael Beasley's in the big three this year.
Oh, there's a good lord. Good
Mm-hmm.
lord.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I didn't know Big Three was on Hulu. So that's great. Now I know where I can
I didn't know
watch
that
it.
either.
That is fantastic. So yeah, we had that slam ball. The next time we check in, maybe we'll have some highlights for you. But yeah, that's it. And also, yeah, if you like the idea of legacy leagues, we did do a profile of them. So go check that out.
Mhm.
If go watch they'll be live streaming their playoffs this week. Let them know that we sent you. That would be great. Also, after you leave us, go say hi at 3 Wide TV. Go cheer on that beautiful number 9 Bite Size Sports race car. Shout out to our main man, David Westergreen, and also shout out to Vic Bloom, who does the R, and shout out to Nate, who a long, long time ago opened that door for us and got that sponsorship rolling. Very, very happy to be a part of that racing team. What else we got, James? Any final hot topics for the folks before we send them home? See, I told you we'd get an hour. We
We did it. We found it.
we
We
have the
put some
best
stuff out too.
audience. Yeah, we have the best audience.
Um,
You guys keep us busy. But yeah, we were worried we might not have enough content for you today. As if.
It's a quiet time in the league when news from yesterday is Anthony Edwards finally got fined for that chair incident in the NBA playoffs when he threw the chair.
Oh,
And it hit the
that's
girls.
retroactive. Now that chairs are all the rave.
Yeah,
They're like, oh wait,
he gets a $50,000 fine for throwing a chair. Good lord, that's send me under.
quick correction, it's Slam Ball that's on Hulu, so even better. All right,
Yep.
that's I think Big Three's on like CBS, so you can still catch it. But that is great. We're gonna catch some Slam Ball. I'm gonna watch some Pat Summit highlights. Actually, can I say, as much as I love Pat Summit, to me, growing up, the GOAT of women's basketball, and this is admittedly biased, was Cheryl Miller. You know, man, dude, Reggie's talked about that, how early in the league it was tough for him because everyone would just would tell him how much like your sister's better than you at basketball. Like Cheryl Miller, back then was like what a young LeBron was to all of us. Everybody was like, who is, I think she scored 100+ points in high
Yeah.
school. Like she just
Wild,
absolute
wild.
beast. So I don't know. I'm going to go find some Cheryl Miller Team USA highlights. That's what I'm going to wind down tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning in. James, you got anything for them before we tell them where to find us?
We are nope. We're glad to be back. We got to talk next week. I got a goofy week next week, but we'll be back. We're back and rolling.
Yeah. Yes, sir. We will be back. Hey, you know how you'll know? The first thing you should do is subscribe. Then you'll be notified when we go live. You might also want to follow us on Facebook or Twitter. Twitter will definitely notify you. Facebook, we're getting better. All right.
We're working on it.
You know, I'm not kidding when I say I need some help around here. You know,
we're terrible.
I'm not great. I'm not great at social media. Don't tell anyone I said that, but yeah, so be following us on our social medias, and we'll let you know when the bounce goes live next. In the meantime, we've got Rumbles of Red tomorrow night, best ball drafts with Trevor. Go check it out. We're going to have a late night bite sometime later this week. We've got Necessary Roughness also tomorrow. That's right. Necessary Roughness got racked and reloaded for later this week. So you'll have that. You'll have a double dip between that Friday and Tuesday. And stay tuned because we'll have more pre-recorded videos, more shorts. It's especially now that the NFL preseason is in mix. So we're getting our highlight machine up and running, getting it all dusted off, ready to go. So James, where can the good folks find you?
Wrong way. I pointed the wrong way. I'm out of touch. Right there. Schmeitz06, pretty much across the board. Catch us here usually every Thursday, and we're going to be launching the Star Wars weekly recap show for Ahsoka here soon. It'll be in the next 2 weeks because it starts in less than 2 weeks, so we've got to get rolling.
We'll be ready. Yeah, you can find that on the Dweeb Network. That's Double D Dweeb. You can find that on YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff, and yeah, powered by Bite Size Sports. And of course, we'll notify you on our social media. So once again, be a good reason to be there. You can find me on all platforms at KevNevick_. You can read my writing at the last word on sports.com in the hoops section. You also find me talking about the Colts on Friday nights at the Horseshoe Pride podcast every Tuesday night, All About Sports, and Sunday and Tuesday evenings talking about all things internet news with my dear friend Danny on the Clout Route. I think that's it. I think I got them all.
Got them all.
Anyway, we appreciate you all so much for spending more time with us. Who are we thanking? We're thanking Caitlin. We're thanking Justin. We're thanking Nate. We're thanking Trevor. Lee was not here today, but we're thanking Lee because Lee is always here. Shout out to everybody. Thank you so much. Good night. We are out of here.